What is up, my fellow Titans? Hope you all are having an amazing day today. And welcome to my Prehistoric Wildlife Preserve, a massive project that I've been working on since completing Prehistoric Florida. And pretty much wanted to try again with making a park filled with accurate creatures, at least to our current knowledge of dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and marine species that you guys will be seeing in this park. Now, there will be a lot of stylized dinosaurs, at least when it comes to their accuracies, but that's a thing with Jurassic World Evolution 3. There's always going to be some stylized bits and bops about the dinosaurs, but that's what makes them look so beautiful and so amazing looking. And with all that being said, let's get to it. Now, I'm making this video, excuse me, for those who has Jurassic World Evolution 3 but doesn't have an idea on what to build for their own park, and they just want a park that they can use as their own, or for those that don't even have Jurassic World Evolution 3 yet but wants to get it and want to have a good park for themselves. So they can like add on to it and stuff. If y'all do decide to install my park in the workshop, let me know in the comments down below and let me know what y'all think about it. Now, I don't want to go into too much details and depths about my park, so I'm just going to show y'all like my dinosaurs, their enclosures, and the two workshop builds that I got. The only two I got, actually. This is a Ichthyovenator / Irritator skeleton that someone made, and that same person made this Spinosaurus mirabilis skeleton, which looks pretty cool. Shout out to that guy. I forgot what your name is, I'm sorry. But if you do see my video, just know that I love your paleo-accurate skeletons, specifically those two. And, yeah. Our maintenance team are always on alert, are always on the job, making sure that our park maintenance is at 100%. But anyway, let's get on to the dinosaurs and their enclosures, shall we? Now, for those that do have my park installed from the workshop, you guys might notice that some of the enclosures have been expanded a little, or gotten bigger a little, slightly bigger a little. I can't talk. I haven't done these kinds of videos in a while. You guys might notice that I have made these enclosures a little bit bigger. In fact, this enclosure originally looked like this. A kind of skull-shaped enclosure. It kind of looks like a Muttaburrasaurus, or the original owner of that enclosure layout, Guanlong, the first dinosaur I decided to create in this park. Now, quick disclaimer, I have not met the social needs yet, but I've turned it off, because the way I did my park is that the scientists here at DIN were kind of cautious with using genetic power. Like, they were cautious with how they were creating dinosaurs of our own. So we wanted to create a mating pair, and observe them as they adapt in their enclosures and see if they get along with each other well. If they do, we will put in a nest and they will be able to reproduce. And this is what we've done with Guanlong. We got a mated pair and 2 children. And this might be hard to see for most of y'all, but if y'all do pay attention to this enclosure, y'all will see that this enclosure does have a cave in it. not big, but it's big enough for my Guanlongs, and they got a cliff to look over their entire forest home. In fact, I'll actually do it right now. They can get a good view of the place from here. And before we get to the enclosure that I've showed off a little bit, I'm going to take us to this oasis that I got that's home to Protoceratops. Now, like Guanlong, when I seen these guys in the deluxe edition pack or DLC, whatever, I fell in love with these guys. These guys are gorgeous, they have a high level of accuracy, and I just love the colors that I've given these guys. Kind of a camouflage color, well, except this guy, because not all babies will look like their parents. At least, not 100% like their parents. It's just individual variation, and I love that. How they get up on their back feet like a meerkat. I didn't expand the Protoceratops enclosure because I didn't have to. Their territory is pretty big, and it pretty much covers their entire oasis. Though some animals like Guanlong, they won't explore their entire enclosure or their entire home. Like, as y'all can see, there is a lot of forest that they haven't explored yet. I mean, they're kind of exploring it, but it's not forever. But other than that, I am happy with how I got my enclosures. Now, to the enclosure that I showed off slightly, is home to a second ceratopsian and a more basal ancestor of ceratopsians, Psittacosaurus, the parrot lizard, and one of the well-known dinosaurs in the world, because we've uncovered over 60 different skeletons, and we got a good idea of what they look like because of how preserved the specimens are. I love the tail bristles. I love the beak. I love the sexual dimorphism. The male's got larger quill-like bristles. Their cheekbone spikes are, their cheek spikes are a lot bigger. And I love how I got my male having some orange spots and orange eyeshadow. And I do love the babies. And a lot like the baby Protoceratops, they run around on two legs, but they walk around on all fours, which it's a pretty good, pretty cool detail that they got. Up next is the largest enclosure that we have here, and it's obviously home to our largest animal that we brought back from extinction. That is the Titanosaur Patagotitan, which, if the name wasn't obvious enough, it was found in Patagonia. And it's pretty much the only sauropod that we have here in this wildlife preserve at the moment, unless they bring back some sauropods that could have a good level of accuracy that could win them a chance to be in this park, or brand new sauropods that will also have a chance to win themselves a place in this park. Now, before we get to these enclosures, we're going to take a look at our third and final ceratopsian that we have in this park, Lokiceratops. And yes, I got the male with green colors to base them off of their namesake, Loki, the god of mischief. But I do love Lokiceratops, and when it comes to large ceratopsians, these guys definitely look almost spot on accurate. I mean, they got the weird looking feet, right? They got the frill and horns correct. They even got the body right, as far as I know. They even got those feature scales that are littered all across Ceratopsians' bodies. Anyway, I also got a little reference from my Jurassic World Evolution 2 part. If y'all remember from that last Evolution 2 video I made, I had a massive mountain in the near center of my park, but I didn't want to go too crazy with it because I didn't want it to take up all my space. But I did wanted a small mountain or a large hill in my park. And with the waterfalls, or the additions of creating waterfalls, I can make a beautiful land like this. And I even got a lagoon here with a cabin here with a beach-like section. Not that big, but it is what it is. I might add on to it in the future, but at the moment, not right now. Now, moving on to one of my favorite dinosaurs in this wildlife preserve, and the biggest dinosaur with the confirmed evidence of feathers, Eutyrannus. Another tyrannosauroid related to Guanlong. This dinosaur is gorgeous. And like I said, it's the largest confirmed dinosaur with feathers. And all in all, it's just beautiful. And I have a forested area for their enclosure. I even got them a little waterfall set going on here. But I also got them a little ramp right here. It's kind of hard to see it because it looks super steep. But my Eutyrannuses can come up here and get a good look at their home. Oh, and that's another thing. The reason why I decided to make another wildlife preserve is because my prehistoric Florida map obviously didn't have snow, and we do have a good idea, or scientists have hypothesized that some dinosaurs were able to adapt and thrive in snow, Eutyrannus being one of them. So I got it somewhat snowing here, and I think it's pretty cool here. As y'all can see, I have a cave right here which has some sauropod bones. One moment. If you guys look closely, there are some bones. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to do it like this. There are bones in this cave because Eutyrannus is believed to hunt sauropods, at least smaller individuals. Now, excuse me, I can't stop burping. Now, I don't remember the exact name of the species of sauropod that they most likely preyed on, but I do know that they preyed on sauropods. Heck, I even saw it in the latest Dinosaurs Netflix series, which I love that Eutyrannus portrayal. Now over here we have the one and only feathered ornithomimid in the game, that being Ornithomimus itself. Absolutely beautiful feathers. I love the colors you can give the males, because to be honest, there's a lot of colors. And for those paleo nerds who grew up watching documentaries like Nigel Marvin's Chased by Dinosaurs, Sea Monsters, Walking with Dinosaurs, and When Dinosaurs Roam America, and all that. The adult Ornithomimus are actually a reference to the Ornithomimus from Prehistoric Park. Specifically the male, although the males in Prehistoric Park were obviously naked, and the male had a blue head. But these colors, if you put the colors side by side, or if you take a picture of my male and female Ornithomimus and put it next to a picture of the male and females from Prehistoric Park, you guys can see that the colors closely resemble that. And I just love the colors that they got for the male. Now, before I get into the next species, y'all might notice I do have a lot of empty enclosures. Those were from dinosaurs I previously had in this park, but I got rid of because they didn't have a good level of accuracy that gave them a chance to have a permanent residence here. In other words, they had osteoderms, they didn't have feathers, well, some of them, and they just had incorrect proportions. And also, for some either returning or new species, like returning species, I'm waiting for Gigantoraptor, Sinosauropteryx, Archelon, and Shonisaurus, oh, and Jehalopterus, which is why I got 2 empty aviaries, 2 empty lagoons, and a bunch of empty enclosures for those future dinosaurs. But anyway, back to the dinosaurs we do got in this park. Up next is Iguanodon, the second dinosaur ever discovered, and the first herbivorous dinosaur discovered 200 years ago, and was one of the 3 dinosaurs that gave rise to the Dinosauria clade. The first being the Megalosaurus, and the third being Hylaeosaurus, which is a ankylosaur. Now, y'all might notice that the babies are the Dominion's Iguanodon, but they do look more stubbier compared to the adults. So, despite that little inaccuracy, or despite that little flaw, I still have the Iguanodons here. And y'all might notice, or if y'all don't know this, these guys are actually a reference to a very good YouTuber that makes amazing dinosaur short films. And if y'all don't know what this cave is supposed to represent, this is actually a shout out to Dead Sound's Dinosauria Volume 2, Episode 1, Terrible Lizards. This is the cave that the female Megalosaurus and her babies were in, and where she and the Iguanodon were fighting in for the majority of the film. In fact, the Iguanodons are a direct reference to Dead Sound's models, despite them not having the right colors and not having the spine-like bumps coming out of their backs. But their colors, not that kind of green like Dead Sounds, but unfortunately they don't have the proper kind of green and the right color for the patterns like Dead Sounds Iguanodons, but this is as close as I can get to his Iguanodons. So, Dead Sound, if you do see this video, this is a shout out to you, man. You make amazing short films, and keep up the good work, man. And anyway, moving on, we're going back into Teeth and Claws territory. Here we got Concavinator, and it's pretty much our... Are you okay? I think these two are about to fight. Why are you headbutting your mate? I think my male concavinator has a glitch. Dude, are you okay? Yeah, he's okay. Dad's got some anger issues. Daddy here's got some anger issues here. But anyway, this is the only Carcharodontosaurus that I have in this park. Concavinator. And all of them are steaming for some reason. Well, at least these three. The babies do got one inaccuracy, and that's their wrists are breaking. But the adults, they got the proper position for their hands. The males got larger quills, a larger hump, and the nasal ridge on top of their skull is more pronounced and more rounded than the females. But these guys are pretty cool. And now we got these little guys, Homalocephali, which it was pretty hard to determine if these guys were accurate or not, because paleontologists believe that Homalocephali was just a juvenile Prehistoric. In fact, or as a matter of fact, the only fossils we found was a almost complete skull, I think a shoulder bone, some leg bones, hip bone, and tail bone. So we don't know what the ribs and arms look like, but I'm guessing that they took a look at Prehistoric and based their body design. They believe that the Prehistorics share the same body plans as Homalocephali, or the other way around, I should say. But all in all the research that I've done stated that Homalocephali is its own species. And they do, and my research said that they do have some kind of camouflage, and that's why the male and female look the same, just the male has green markings, while the female has gray. And the babies are just so adorable, and they too are steaming. I hope Frontier fixes that, because I really don't like my dinosaurs steaming like that. But anyway, on to one of the earliest dinosaurs that's ever been discovered in modern science. That is Coelophysis, a dinosaur that, like Psittacosaurus, we found a bunch of skeletal material of these guys. In fact, there was a large bone bed in I think Ghost Ranch. Yeah, in Ghost Ranch, showing two different morphs: a robust morph, which are more bulky, and gracile morphs, which is more skinnier, which is what these guys are based off of. And yes, the colors are a reference to the Walking with Dinosaurs Coelophysis. And the males, they do got quills. Some scientists believe that Coelophysis may have had feathers. Others believe that they don't. I mean, they are a primitive member of the Coelurosaur family, which are feathered dinosaurs, pretty much. Which I'm pretty sure... No, wait. It does include birds, because birds are dinosaurs. But it's also possible that early dinosaurs started out with no feathers, but had something similar to feathers, like maybe quills, which is what the male has here. So, a featherless Coelophysis is just as accurate as a featherless, because we don't have direct evidence of feathers on Coelophysis. Up next, we have the only stegosaur in the park, and that is Kentrosaurus. Now, this guy was going to be a dinosaur that I was going to release back into the wild, but when I did more research and actually looked at some pictures of the fossils and the skeletons that are set for display in museums, the Kentrosaurus that I've seen pictures of, they have the same amount of plates and thagomisers as this guy. So this guy has the right amount of spikes and plate, and they look a lot better than the Jurassic Park Stegosaurus. Well, the Stegosaurus in general in this franchise, but I do love the sexual dimorphism. The male's got colors going up to his plates and thagamizers, where the females don't. They just stop on their actual skin. Now, to these guys, I completely forgot to do these guys before going on to Coelophysis and Kentrosaurus. But our first dromaeosaur that we brought back from extinction, and possibly more dangerous than the InGen abominations, Utahraptor. And these guys are definitely more dangerous, but they are just as beautiful. In fact, the male is a direct reference to my Evolution 2 Utahraptor. The female has a different color. Oh, you're gonna hunt prey, okay. Are you gonna see it, or are you gonna catch prey in the bush? And, oh well. I do like that they added in Jurassic Park raptor calls to these guys, and the babies are just adorable. This is the youngest male. He looks like his daddy, while the baby girl, or the eldest girl, is purple with some yellow feathers, just like her mother. Well, her mother is more gray and black, but she still has the yellow feathers. But all in all, I do love the Utahraptors. And just like with the Guanlongs, they too have a cave. It's slightly bigger, or it goes deeper slightly. And they even got their own little viewing rock here. In fact, I think Daddy and Son, I think Father and Son are going up to it. Well, I guess not. And little girl's going up to her father as well. This enclosure was also based on the original Guanlong enclosure, but since this guy is a little bit, well, a lot bigger than Guanlong and Psittacosaurus, I made this a little bit bigger, and as y'all can see, they enjoy the large area that I've given them. Now up next is my only Australian dinosaur, and one of the two species I have from Australia, and that's Muttaburrasaurus. Beautiful design. The nose is speculated. This portrayal doesn't have like inflatable balloon sacks like the OG Walking with Dinosaurs Muttaburrasaurus. And by the way, if I didn't say Muttaburrasaurus, this is Muttaburrasaurus. I can be very forgetful, but I mean, they're making noises like they would if they had the balloon sacks on their noses. But anyway, like I said, we don't really know what's going on with their big noses. So Frontier went with this kind of design, while the OG Walking with Dinosaurs had balloon sacks on their noses, and that's what Dead Sound also did as well. He had his Muttaburrasauruses with the inflatable sacks on their noses. All in all, despite having no balloon sacks on their noses, I love the Muttaburrasaurus. Now, wrapping up the dinosaur section of the video and park, we're going to be taking a look at the Wetlands Pack dinosaurs and the dinosaur that was released for free alongside the Wetlands dinosaur species. Starting with going from smallest to biggest. And we're going to start with Hypsilophodon. Probably one of the smallest dinosaurs I have in this park. Now, A lot of people didn't like the fact that these guys were in the wetlands pack instead of something else, like Dinokairos, which it's pretty cool that it was free anyway. And I do understand them. These guys aren't really that good of a choice when it comes to a wetlands pack. They lived in a floodplain, but a floodplain is different from a swampy wetlands like a lot of these dinosaurs are placed in. But also a lot of them don't like the fact that they're featherless. Now we don't have direct evidence of feathers on Hypsilophodon, but skeletally, they look good. I love how they just perk their heads up like birds or meerkats. And just like with the Coelophysis, a featherless Hypsilophodon is as accurate as a feathered Hypsilophodon. At least until scientists find impressions of feathers in Hypsilophodon specimens later on. Now up next is a Unionlaganai dromaeosaur that is competing against Utahraptor for the throne of my favorite accurate dromaeosaur, and that is Australoraptor, a beautiful feathered raptor from the wetlands pack. And I know them as the ducks of the raptor family and the ducks of Jurassic World Evolution 3. Specifically with the babies, when they walk, they look like they're waddling, at least when you look at them head on. The babies are adorable. I mean, it's hard to see because he's in long grass, but that baby was waddling. Now, I love the sexual dimorphism in the males. They got a crown of feathers and kind of a beard of feathers on his throat. For some reason, reminds me of a turkey. And the female don't got those structures. And I do love how they got shorter arms and a longer snout with straight and conical teeth, like a Spinosaur, which proves the theory that they most likely preyed on fish. But as far as I know, or from when I was doing my research, it is believed that they also hunted active or terrestrial prey. And that's why I have goat feeders in here, just in case if they actually do go after terrestrial prey instead of just going after fish. Speaking of which, up next is another dinosaur that's believed to hunt not only fish but also terrestrial prey, is Irritator. By far the best Spinosaurid in the game by far. And I love the design that Frontier got for them in the game, or decided to give them in this game. They got a blocky snout, which is accurate. They got lips, they got strong arms, a tadpole-like tail, which, as far as we know, only Spinosaurus has. And you can't really see it in the male. I mean, you can kind of see it with the female. Their fourth toe touches the ground, and y'all can kind of see it with the babies. They got webbed feet. Okay, you guys can kind of see it with this baby. They got webbed feet, which helps them traverse their swampy environment without sinking in the water. And I'm not going to go too into depth about Irritator, but all you guys need to know is that the first skull of this dinosaur was modified by commercial fossil diggers and was sold with a lot of plaster, or sold as a modified specimen. Had a lot of plaster on it and was modified enough to make it seem like a pterosaur. And it was such an irritation for the scientists to remove all that plaster, hinting the name Irritator, and its scientific name, Irritator challengeri, is because they are named after Professor Challenger from the Lost World novel. And as far as I know, these guys are the only dinosaurs that are named after a fictional character. And as you guys can see, these are how I got my wetlands biomes, or wetland enclosures, in my wetlands exhibit. I even got some of the wetlands buildings in here. Surrounded by mostly forest, but also adding in some extra flair than the Utah Raptors are fighting. And they always fight, along with the Guanlongs and Coelophysis. I don't know why. But, getting to the free dinosaur, Deinocheirus. A dinosaur that was originally thought to be a carnivore because of the only fossils that were discovered, which are those giant arms, which I love how they scratch themselves with those arms. And, possibly the largest dinosaur with feathers, but it's not confirmed, other than the fact that some tail vertebrae were fused together, showing some evidence of a tail fan, which, if that's true, then Deinocheirus will dethrone Eutyrannus as the biggest feathered dinosaur ever discovered. But I love them in Evolution 2, and I love the babies. They are absolutely adorable. And the way that they swim, too, and the way that they kind of like get their front halves into the water, it's funny. But yeah, leaving the dinosaurs behind, we are going to be taking a look at the pterosaurs. One of them is brand new and the other was from Evolution 3. That is Kyuajara, a tapajarid pterosaur with only one major inaccuracy, and that's its diet. These guys are frugivores. They eat fruit and nuts, and maybe some small animals. Maybe omnivores, but as far as I know, they're frugivores. But these guys are portrayed eating fish, like you guys are about to see the female doing. The sexual dimorphism on these guys are beautiful. The male's got large crests, which, like Guanlong, has a lot of cool colors y'all can give them. And I got these guys in sort of a family colony, because they are said to be colony-dwelling pterosaurs. And I do love the fact that these pterosaurs in Evolution 3 can walk around on the ground instead of just flapping around all day, only to rest for a while, to start flapping in the air again. But anyway, here we have the Asdarchid Thanatos Draken, the second Asdarchid that's been added into the game. The first being Quetzalcoatlus, but that one is accurate, but not in its size. That is way too oversized. But I love these Asdarchid pterosaurs. They don't chase their prey down in the game like they're believed to do in real life, which that's what Asdarchids do in real life. They will chase down their prey on the ground, but they will also take fish sometimes, like what the female's doing right now. But I got a goat feeder in here to show my guest that Quetzalcoatlus, or Thanatos Draken at this, in this case, will take down terrestrial prey and chase them down. Well, in the air at least. I wish Frontier added a little mechanic to where that they can chase down their prey on the ground, but it is what it is. I still love the pterosaur regardless. Now, to wrap up this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 3 marine species I have so far. The first being Attenboroughsaurus, a gorgeous looking plesiosaur named after David Attenborough himself. And I loved David Attenborough's documentaries, especially Prehistoric Planet. And I tried my hardest to base the adults' colors off of the elasmosaurids in Prehistoric Planet. Mainly with the basic color, I kind of stylized their pattern color to specifically because in marine life, there really isn't that much sexual dimorphism except for the color patterns, so I just gave them brown colors, brownish orange, more like rusty colors. But they are absolutely gorgeous, and the babies are no exception. They are so adorable, and oh, are we gonna get a playful interaction with mother and baby? Oh yeah, we are. Aww. I love the fact that these guys are playful like dolphins. Anyway, on to the next predator, and the apex predator of Australia, Kronosaurus. And by far the largest pliosaur that we know by far, at least in Australia. Now, this guy's colors are based off of the Liopleurodon from Walking with Dinosaurs, and also Dead Sound's Kronosaurus from his latest film, Monsters Down Under. Now, I had a female and a baby in here, but when I was researching about Kronosaurus, it said that these guys were solitary and aggressive predators. So, despite the inaccurate social needs, I have a lone male Kronosaurus. And again, Dead Sound, this is a unintentional reference, and shout out to you. I made this Kronosaurus before you made your latest film, but I still love it. And again, keep up the good work, man. And finally, we have Megalodon, the largest shark that's ever lived. And the only prehistoric behemoth that we have here in Florida, and also in Peru. But as far as I know, we only found a lot of Megalodon teeth here in Florida. No other bones, because this thing has cartilage. Is it snowing? Yeah, it is. So the only evidence of Megalodon's existence are the teeth. So any depiction of Megalodon could be accurate if they don't look that much like a oversized great white shark. And this is a female, by the way. But I decided to give my female some whale shark-like stripes, so it doesn't look like a massive great white shark. But all in all, this shark does give a amazing and intimidating silhouette. And we're gonna wrap up this part. Ah, I didn't get it. Well, I kind of did, but I didn't stop the time from going pretty fast. Or I didn't slow it down that well. But anyway, that is it for my Prehistoric Wildlife Preserve. And also, if you guys are wondering what's going on here, I do not have the research for the hybrids, because for me, no hybrids are allowed in this park. They will not even be in the genome library. As y'all can see right there. Now, this has been my favorite park that I built by far, and a lot of inspiration came from prehistoric Florida. And I might as well do this. Oh, capture mode. That's what I'm trying to go for. Sorry. Now, a lot of inspiration for this park came from prehistoric Florida, and some of the color references for my dinosaurs came from the documentaries, Dead Sound's Dinosauria, and so many others. And as y'all know, my enclosures and my Thanatos Draken aviary have gotten bigger, so my animals can have some more space to roam around in. And that will happen to any new dinosaur that gets added into this park. But that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did and want to see more Jurassic World videos, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know. And you guys let me know in the comments what y'all's favorite dinosaur is from Jurassic World Evolution 3. And let me know in the comments what dinosaur y'all want Frontier to bring back. Y'all know me, I want J. Holopterus, Archelon, Shonisaurus, Sinosauropteryx, and Gigantoraptor to come back. Those guys are super accurate and my favorite of the recent species pack for Evolution 2. But anyway, that is it for this video. Be sure to check out my wildlife preserve in the workshop. My name is literally the_evolved_Godzilla if y'all want to check it out. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am out, and peace.